What life experiences have you had that would make you a good MP?
My experience is quite vast. I started my career out in TV and radio, which I guess you learn to ask a lot of questions and listen. And then from there I went into hospitality, working in events. And then it led me into technology and innovation. So I worked for corporates like Dell, where dealing in like innovation and technology. And then I moved in to become an entrepreneur and small business owner. And so with those skills as well, it's quite interesting. It's all about finding complex problems and simple solutions by working with a bunch of different types of people. So I think that would make me a great MP.
So why have you been chosen as the local candidate for New Zealand First?
I've been chosen for the local candidate of New Zealand First because I have a history and a reputation of getting things done. I was part of a group. I represented 25 small businesses who weren't being listened to in a develop at Tauranga City Council called the Marine Precinct, which is under the Harbour Bridge. And that kind of went from the council not listening to the community. There were a lot of issues in that development. And so what happened from that is we've started to work better together, and I really highlight the benefit of working with the community on issues that don't go right. So I think they've chosen me for that. They've also chosen me for my background in technology and innovation. And then also I stand up a lot in the education space for kids with disabilities, special needs, and families, and also representing schools and teachers to communicate the issues in education to government and try to build a better bridge and working relationship between those. So,
what are the biggest issues facing Tauranga?
The biggest issue that I see is that we have unelected commissioners right now. The community I'm meeting with would really like to see democracy restored into Tauranga. And so I think putting an election or even trying to see if we can push forward a snap election would be quite beneficial for the city, just so the community have a voice in those areas.
Do you think the commissioners have done a good job?
I think the commissioners were given a job that wasn't an easy job to do. We have had underinvestment for many years in critical areas. But I think the issue that we have now is in the climate that we're in, the cost of living crisis, a lot of these developments and projects are going to cost significantly, and that's actually going to hit ratepayers, it's going to hit people who are renting houses. And so right now I think that the community is really wanting a voice, so that way they feel that they're being listened to, especially right now. It's a very hard time what we're going through.
But isn't that's been the cause of all that underinvestment all previously is that same argument, which is that it'll cost ratepayers more, so therefore they haven't invested.
Yeah.
So are you just suggesting the same thing again?
Well, I think I'm suggesting that we need to actually, what am I suggesting? It's a great question. I think what I am suggesting is that it's just the wrong time. We've just gotten out of COVID. I mean, people just don't have the money here. We've got older, seniors who are getting, pushed out of their houses that they're in, or they can't afford it. They're on a pension. I just think that I know that we need a lot of work done in the city. We definitely do. But I do think that the community need to have a bigger voice.
Youth crime is in the news a lot. What can we do about that?
In the time that I've lived here, I haven't seen crime like I have. It's horrific. So with youth crime, I think that one of the things I've done here is that we've had a lot of crime in our area, especially in Bethlehem and Otamotai, and I feel we can't always just rely on the government to fix these issues. We also have to have communities coming together with solutions. So one of the things I did was got myself and another resident here, after we heard some stories about different break-ins, we pulled together a public meeting and we all met as a community. I started a WhatsApp chat, and now we're all in communication and throughout this area. I think we have over 100 people in there, kind of identifying if something happens, we're all there to help each other. We can pull camera footage, and we've started to actually catch some of the people breaking into the homes, and we figured out how they're doing it. So I do think that government has a part to play in it, but right now we have low police numbers. So if we look at the right now, because crime is a right now thing, some of the things that we can do is we can start working together as community and come up with solutions. The crime here has drastically reduced. I think that everyone should do that. I'm not a fan of Facebook ones, because then you're taking photos of people, or someone could actually look suspicious, but they're not actually suspicious, So I think when you're keeping it into a WhatsApp group, it means that if someone has misidentified someone as doing something that they're not, it's not blasted all over social media. So I do think everyone should look at doing a WhatsApp group. You've got neighborhood support and things that are out there, but as far as I know, there's no real open communication like a WhatsApp group delivers, and I think that it's been so beneficial, and it helps people feel safe.
What can we do about cost of living issues?
Cost of living is a tricky one, because everyone's in the same boat when it comes to cost of living. New Zealand First is doing some things, an inquiry into foreign-owned banks to see how much money they're getting, to see if we can actually get a reduction on some of those interest rates. We need to bring inflation down, obviously, that will help. We're doing 15% off of GST for fruit, vegetables, meats, and fish. So that will also help give 15% back into people's pockets. And also we're indexing income tax brackets to match inflation.
It sounds like a Labour Party policy.
Well, look, we're a centre party, and so we do balance right in the centre. So, I mean, some of our policies might feel, that we're a bit on the right side. Some may feel like we're a bit on the left, but that's the game that we're in, balancing both sides of it. So, yeah.
But Winston Peters has said that he won't be forming a coalition with Labour.
We won't.
So very much a centre-right party this time?
Oh, I think we're just actually smack in the centre. So like our policies mean that, which is why in 2017 it was a tough place to be in, because we can go with either party, because depending on negotiations and how we actually negotiate what that looks like, we can easily fit in both camps. So we're very much a centre party, but you're right, this year we will not be going with Labour. We're not going to partner with anybody that has racist policies, separatist policies. And so, we're looking at forming a coalition with National, or, who knows, we might get enough vote that we can just do it ourselves. And that's what I'm hoping for.
So what do you mean by racist policies?
We won't be doing anything that, so New Zealand First is against any policies that are for just a certain person, a certain race. So like, for example, you've got the Maori Healthcare Authority. So that's not something that New Zealand First would support. We believe that everybody should be treated equally based on just being a New Zealander, not based on the color of their skin. And so every policy that we will have is for everyone.
Don't you think, though, that the previous 150 years where it's been the same health system for everybody has disadvantaged Māori, because it hasn't worked? Māori are at the bottom of all the statistics. So this is actually just a way to try and address that problem.
I understand why they've tried to do it, but I think what we're trying to say is that what we actually need is proper education. We need to be working with Māori differently so that we can actually give them a hand up, not a handout.
The other issue is that there is a treaty that requires co-governance, essentially. So is New Zealand First's policy to not honour the treaty?
New Zealand First policy is not to support co-governance, and the way that we understand the treaty is different than that.
How do you understand the treaty to mean?
That we were all one people, and we were supposed to be treated equally and working together to create, a wonderful country.
How can we engage more young people in politics?
In politics. I think people, I had this one saying I always used to say when I first got involved in politics, was that you're not interested in politics until decisions may directly affect your life or someone that you care about. I think we've got a lot of interest in politics right now from young people, but we're not delivering it in the ways that they consume. We do it really well at election time. I think we should be doing that, the entire term, to let people know what decisions are coming through, what it means, what it looks like, to be gathering more feedback so we can make more informed decisions as politicians.